From the back of the great turtle, the land rose, and the people of the first light began their journey, through truth, memory, the voices that still carry on. And a little help from AI, we bring you stories of the Wampanoag people. The people now known as the Wampanoag were once called the Pokanoket, one of the principal nations in a confederacy of tribes who lived where the sun first rises. Their homelands stretched across what is now southeastern Massachusetts and parts of Rhode Island, from the forests of the mainland to the shores of Cape Cod and the islands of Noeep and Abenaki, known today as Martha's Vineyard and Nantucket. Archaeological sites across the region show that Wampanoag ancestors have lived here for over 12,000 years. Stone tools, shell middens, ancient fire pits, and fishing weirs buried at these sites show proof of a continuous connection to the land since at least the end of the last ice age. The Wampanoag were a seasonal, semi-sedentary society, not nomadic, but highly attuned to the cycles of nature. They followed the seasons with purpose, not as wanderers but as caretakers. They were skilled farmers, fishers, hunters, and gatherers. In the spring and summer, they lived near the coast, fishing and planting crops like corn, beans, and squash. In the winter, they moved inland to hunt game and take shelter in forested areas. This balance of agriculture and natural resource use reflects a sophisticated system of environmental management, one that supported thriving villages, trade networks, and a rich cultural life. The Wampanoag were not a single tribe, but a confederacy of allied nations, each with its own leader, or sachem, and its own territory. Sachems were chosen through matrilineal lines, often passed down through the mother's side, and were advised by a council of elders, warriors, and medicine people. Each tribal group was led by a sachem, a leader responsible for guiding their people in matters of diplomacy, land use, warfare, and ceremony. Sachems were advised by trusted councils, and their power was balanced by the voices of clan leaders, elders, and spiritual advisors. Women played critical roles in this system. In many cases, they held the power to choose sachems, and their counsel was respected in community decisions. Decisions were made through consensus, not coercion. The voice of the people, including women and elders, held weight in council matters. It was a decentralized, respectful form of governance rooted in responsibility to the land, the community, and future generations. The Wampanoag Confederacy was a structured and thriving political system, one of alliances, mutual protection, and shared resources. At its center was a network of independent tribal communities, each with its own lands, leaders, and laws, yet united by language, culture, and diplomacy. This was not a monarchy or a theocracy. It was a collaborative form of governance rooted in respect, responsibility, and the well-being of the whole community. In times of war or threat, the sachems of different tribes could unite under a paramount leader such as the Massasoit, a title held by the great sachem Wassamequin of the Pokanoket during the early 1600s. This political unity allowed the Wampanoag to thrive for thousands of years, maintaining balance with the land and with neighboring nations like the Narragansett and Nipmuc. Prior to European contact, it's estimated that the Wampanoag population numbered between 40,000 to 100,000 people, living across dozens of tribal villages, from the coastal islands to inland river valleys. These were not scattered bands, but vibrant, organized communities with their own political systems, spiritual traditions, and trade routes stretching across the Northeast. The Wampanoag world was guided by balance between people and nature, between individuals and community. Their laws were not written, but lived, passed down through story, ceremony, and the guidance of the ancestors. It was a world where identity was tied not just to land, but to kinship, to duty, and to spirit. The Wampanoag Confederacy was not just functional, it was visionary, offering a model of leadership, cooperation, and environmental balance that still speaks to us today. And though colonization brought unimaginable disruption, the Wampanoag people endure.